attack. Often partner at the back for England, Millie Bright at the other end, and partner today is Lottie Buckingham for La Codina. Chelsea have the form. He is under pressure for sure. He's been making light of it, but Cheryl Foster in charge, Chelsea's new coach. Their biggest test yet. Away we go. Statement performance. Now there's a phrase you hear a lot in this game, but you do feel it's seriously relevant today. Chelsea do have the odd slow start, even though they tend to win this division. And Arsenal need it. Guro Wrighton is offside. Arsenal need to make that statement. And it is a fixture they've managed to do that in. Guro Wrighton in that new number 10 position. Just offside, I think, with Leah Williamson, the furthest Gunners defender, back. They lose here, Arsenal. That would be 7 points dropped already. A month into the season, barely, so... he wouldn't necessarily rubber stamp that as a write-off for title challenge, but you know how it is in this league. This is Mariona Caldente, a real winner they brought in during the summer from Barcelona. Medals coming out of her ears, and she gets the little layoff from Russo. That's really nicely worked. Here's Caitlin Ford. Well, Buchanan kind of took it off Millie Bright, who had it covered. Beth Mead with the header over. Oohs and ahs at the Emirates, 90 seconds in. For one of their favourite players to watch, who does have that stellar record against Chelsea. Millie Bright absolutely had that curious breakdown of communication. Someone wasn't calling. Do keep an eye on that, Beth Mead against Sandy Baltimore over there, or should I say in French, Sandy Baltimore, because while they've got an embarrassment of riches at right back, Chelsea, with Perisset, Lawrence and Lucy Bronze here, there's only one genuine left back. Ashley Lawrence can play there, and that genuine left back is out injured, Niamh Charles. Here's Myra Ramirez with Chelsea's first shot. Tucking across on the cover was Emily Fox, and the first corner of the game is Chelsea's. Perfectly timed run that time, and a lovely weight on the pass too. Good defending. Not easy to stick with Myra Ramirez, more for the power than the pace. The left boot of Baltimore to deliver the game's first corner. Oh, it's right at Nuskanu, got under it. Millie Bright keeps it alive, and Ramirez has hooked it in! start for the champions, nightmare for Arsenal. Chelsea strike first in the big London derby. Didn't need to be an overhead smash. The looping hook, perfectly placed. Van Domselaar powerless. What a start. Similar trajectory to her loopy header at Stamford Bridge in midweek against Real Madrid that did exactly the same thing. Mayra Ramirez puts Chelsea in front. And here's the coach's view. That'll do. Fox, Arsenal looking for an immediate response. There's Russo, and still, and Mead nearly in there too. Well, they were calling for a response from kick-off. They now need a response to this game. Chelsea so good at scoring goals really early in games, just to hammer home that favourite status. A 4th minute lead thanks to her. Thought she'd scored a huge goal against Arsenal the last time they met Ramirez in the League Cup final. Narrowly chalked off after the event. Arsenal went on to win it. Space here for Brighton, but Williamson on the cover. Already had a bit of a rocking this week, Arsenal, and they've had another one early on here. This big home crowd will demand a response. Little and Williamson there will be key. Two captains really. So much experience. Need to keep the side calm. Long way to go. Plenty of time to do something about it. Plenty of talent to do it with. Caitlin Ford losing out there. Ramirez never loses out in a 50-50. And there's that strength. Brilliant defending from Williamson on her England colleague Lauren James, who normally takes the ball so well in those situations. Here come Arsenal again. Russo, well defended between them. Bronze and Buchanan. Look at the talent on this field. Another all-England duel there between Alessia Russo and Lucy Bronze. Boban Moy and Ramirez blatantly fouled by Leah Valti. Space again for Fox. And another good cross that's just out of Russo's reach. Well, that was the replay, actually. That's why it looks so similar. Here's Baltimore. And Nuskin just beaten to it. That right side for Arsenal would appear to be the avenue. Leah Valti. There's a little more space than you might have thought here. I suppose they are two attack-minded sides. Caitlin Ford here taking on Lucy Bronze. In towards Russo and out by Nuskin. What a brilliant 7.5 minutes it's been already. Not the scoreline for Arsenal fans, but really bright, forward thinking from both. Mariona Caldente. Says much for Sonia Bonpastor's attacking intent. She'd rather play a left winger at left back than play Ash Lawrence, who's played there plenty in the past, and indeed the present for Chelsea. Ford on the run again. Mariona Caldente. Beth Mead. Fox outsider. Went for the shot. Little, no. couple of mistimed shots from two of this league's great performers there. Interesting to see Bright and Buchanan swapping sides. It's only a minor detail at the back, but usually, as the majority of times, Millie Bright would be on the side, Buchanan left of the two. Buchanan was suspended for the Real Madrid game midweek. Natalie Bjorn played in there, suspended due to a red card in the semi-final defeat to Bayern last term. Millie Bright with one of those familiar raking balls. It's a good one. Buchanan is lightning quick. Didn't even need that speed to get there, so good was the pass. Well, it's got to be a good season, you feel, for Jonas Eidevall. First season was brilliant, with a terrible absentee list. Got the club's first silverware in a long time. Got a new deal. And got another new deal and all the signings he wanted. Ramirez bumped down on that Canarud cross a moment ago. Here's Baltimore. Rousseau caught by Millie Bright. So many good battles on this field, individually amongst the bigger team picture. Millie Bright, the only survivor now from the original crew that won Chelsea's first league title in 2015. Now that Frank Kirby is gone. New goalkeeper for this term, Daphne van Domselaar, Dutch international regular. Manuela Zinsberger, been the #1 for a while, seemingly not anymore. She did come in for the midweek Champions League game, Zinsberger. At the moment, at least, the new recruit Van Domselaar seems to be first choice. This is Hannah Hampton now for Chelsea. You have to wait a little while to be that. Watched on for 3 or 4 months last season under Emma Hayes. Got in at Christmas, around that time, and stayed. Another goalkeeper signed from Aston Villa. Leah Balti. Her and Kim Little in the middle of the Arsenal midfield seems like a permanent fixture for so long. Maybe that's just changed a bit now. Last term, Pelova was in there a lot, and Cooney Cross at the start of this season too. Leah Balti's position not as cemented as it once was. Katie McCabe into Ford. Arsenal corner. Solid delivery, solidly met by Millie Bright. 5 league titles, 5 cups with Barcelona, and 3 times a Champions League winner, Mariona Caldente. And coming up against recent former colleague Lucy Bronze when she drifts over to the left. She's essentially playing in the number 10 role for Arsenal. Penalty into Ford. Bronze was strong but fair, according to Cheryl Foster. That, however, was a foul. Home fans don't like it, but Katie McCabe, first glance, seemed guilty. Yeah, that's a foul. Big game for Vika Kaptein. Not really seen her on the ball yet. Real faith from the coach in another new recruit for Chelsea there. Teenager signed from SC Twente, who Chelsea will be playing in the Champions League group. Starting in there. There should be some opportunity in that central midfield for Chelsea this term. No Nusken and Cuthbert would appear to be, when all fully fit, the regulars. But we lost Jessie Fleming and Sophie Ingle out for the season. And Melanie Leopold's gone, so it's an area of the field to keep an eye on. Would have been a good ball if it had had a tiny bit less power on it. Baltimore, who is quick, couldn't quite make it. Well, I think it's played pretty well this opening 15 minutes. They just conceded a strange goal. They did lead in that Bayern game in midweek before losing 5-2. They have already drawn more league games this season than they did in the whole of last, would you believe? 2 against 1. Strength of Ramirez apparent there again. If there is, and I use that word advisedly, if there is a centre-back in this league who can deal with her, it might be Leah Williamson. Lauren James skipping past the challenge. Must be 2-0. First involvement from Lauren James, and the left back is right up there. Sondi Baltimore makes it 2-0 to Chelsea. They have the cutting edge when it matters. Big problems for Ida Vallen's Gunners now. That's too easy. It looks like it's Chelsea making that statement. Who's on Sondi Baltimore? Beth Mead's pointing the finger, but maybe she should be tucking back. Either way, it's a free header from 5 yards out, and Baltimore couldn't miss and didn't miss. Her first WSL goal, and it's a big one. Did score the 1-0 winner against Arsenal in pre-season, incidentally. But look, the inquest is already up and running on the touchline and on the field. Chelsea making the most of their opportunities, as you can see from that. As I say, Arsenal haven't actually played badly, but they've just defended badly in 2 quick moments. And against the very best, and let's face it, Chelsea are the very best. You're often, or more often than not, going to be punished. They need to get this crowd roaring again, do Arsenal. It's now disgruntled murmuring at the Emirates. Forward by Bright, touched by Wrighton. Great channel run from Russo. Now she needs to find a friend. Mead. Russo again. Great challenge from Baltimore. And balance. Really good. Look who's in town. Did work for Arsenal once upon a time. This division's greatest ever coach. Got Emily Fox to have a look at. I suspect she'd have been here anyway. Kat Macario on the Chelsea bench too. Russo. Suspicion of offside about that, but no flag. Here comes Emily Fox. Little. And again, Kim Little. Good pass. Caldente away from Bright. No room to get the shot away. Nuskin was there, but the danger remains with Caitlin Ford up against Lucy Bronze. Wasn't a good ball. She had her arms out. Needed someone to offer her something more by way of target. Well, slotting it through for Russo. Buchanan strongly defended. Good ball from Leah Valti. Here comes Caitlin Ford again, and still really good run. Well, they really have done a lot very well. These opening 21 minutes, Arsenal. They haven't yet made Hannah Hampton have to make a serious save. No problems going forward. Easily cut apart midweek in Bavaria. Breached twice already here. You can't be having to score 3 goals to have a chance of getting something from a game. Not that often anyway. They'll settle for 1 here. Mead as ever on corner duty. It's deep, and Hampton got right underneath it. Misjudgment from the Chelsea keeper. Good way to pass from Nuskin. Valti did well to track Kanarud because she'll know she's got the pace to beat her, and indeed most people on this field. It's a good job for Hannah Hampton. Kadisha Buchanan got there, because without it, Lottie Vubben-Moy was going to get there. Well, it's been a seriously eventful first half to the first half. Ramirez away from Williamson. The whole of the ball wasn't out. Williamson, I think more in hope than expectation, was asking for a flag to wave. Just such a powerful runner. What an asset she's become, Ramirez. It didn't look out. Certainly not. Whole of the ball and whole of the line, I don't think so. They wouldn't have even signed her had Sam Kerr not picked up the terrible injury last winter. Monster of a forward with so many attributes. What a signing the Colombian has been. Only half a campaign last time around, but straight in. she'll have known before a ball was kicked today that she'd be in for a tough examination, the England captain. Maybe. Sam Kerr aside, perhaps as tough as they come in this league. James with the corner. Williamson got there, commanding header. James again. Baltimore had to stop for fear of being offside. This is typical Lauren James. You didn't see her for 15 minutes or so. And she can do that. Funnily enough, she did it in midweek. Anonymous for the entire first half against Real Madrid before starting to provide brilliant passes in the second half, 2 of which made goals. Emma Hayes knows all about her strengths. And a rare stoppage in this opening half hour. Katie McCabe is down. In fairness, Sjoeke Nusken did her best to pull out of it. Very close to here at Wembley. England will be playing the USA in the end of November international break. I doubt they'll be much friendly about that. Lauren James will be involved for sure if fit. So will Williamson. Baltimore. Captain Millie Bright. Bright, bronze, James, England internationals all. Lauren James has kept running. Cannerud has found her. That's a really good challenge from Caitlin Ford. This is a game where the wide attackers will need to get back and help their full-backs because of the attacking prowess of those involved. Offside on Cannerud. Some fairly strong words from Lucy Bronze midweek after Chelsea squeezed away from Stamford Bridge 3-2 against Real Madrid. She said, "We won't win the Champions League playing like that." And I guess she should know. Williamson under pressure from Brighton, took a bit of a gamble. Oh, and it dropped for Lauren James, who got right underneath it. For a player of such technique, that's a disappointing finish, and it's a huge relief for Leah Williamson. It is amazing how at any level of football, a bouncing ball always seems to bring a problem. Certainly not an easy chance for Lauren James, but such is her quality. I think we probably all expected something closer to the target than that. Scored the third of Chelsea's 7 at Crystal Palace last time out on league duty. Remember, Chelsea have played 1 game fewer, having not met Manchester United as planned last Sunday. Cannerud got their opener, the only goal when they beat Villa. 1-0 in that one, 7-0 Palace. He's had a 2-2 ding-dong with Manchester City. Nil-nil here against Everton. And clearly most of the chances were the Gunners, they just couldn't find a way through. They played a lot, including all the Champions League games. This is their 9th match of this season, Arsenal. Russo's cross! Ford! Was it in front of her? Maybe it was, or she couldn't sort of feet out. It seemed to be there. When you're 2-0 down against a team this good, those have got to go in. They were ahead early here against City, where Arsenal, they were behind eventually. And they equalised late. Good from Russo. Yeah, I think the dive of Buchanan has put Caitlin Ford off her stride. I don't think this cross is in front of her, you know. It's not. It's just hard to time it with the skimming bounce like that. Excellent from Alessia Russo. Ford couldn't find the finish. Good spring run of goals for Alessia Russo in her debut Gunners campaign last time around. Ended up with 12 in this division. She was Arsenal's top league scorer. Baltimore, right. Williamson with the stand-up challenge. Really bright and breezy half hour here. And Chelsea have been clinical with their 3 chances, or 4 now actually. They've taken 2 of them. Arsenal have taken none out of 5, I guess. Calling that forward one a good opening. Arsenal lost 5 times across all competitions last season. If they do lose this, it'll be 3 already. First leg against Häcken in Champions League qualifying didn't matter so much as it turned out, because they turned it around. Arsenal on course right now to have drawn 2 and lost 1 already, admittedly. 2 difficult home games would already have been played by that point, but even so, you take my point. You've got to win in and around 18 games to win this division. That is the standard every season. And a little bit more of the malaise, and you're talking about Arsenal basically having to win every game between now and May. They're to be in there, because you don't see the Chelsea standard dropping. Captain trying to find Canarud, not enough on it. And here's Caitlin Ford. McCabe, they'll start again. Vaughn and Williamson. Poked forward by Fox, but Beth Mead is offside. She wanted it earlier, or wanted her to keep running, one of the two. Tight, but off. Good call. They've done plenty of things fairly well so far, Arsenal, but what has Hannah Hampton had to do, really? Ramirez got in there, and a little slip from Williamson, who tried to make the challenge from the floor and mistimed it, and she's going to be cautioned for it too by Cheryl Foster. Protests aren't going to help the England captain. I suspect she knew what she was doing. She would have been fine had she not slipped. She did not get the ball. It's a good effort to try and con the ref, but it is a foul. And having happened on the floor like that with Ramirez potentially away, I think that had to be a caution. Cheryl Foster's got that one spot on. And tough game for Williamson. Gets a little bit tougher now because she can't miss time much more. Lauren James booms second shot of the game well over. She'll find, you suspect, her range soon enough. And she has already found a teammate for a tap-in. Beth Mead attracted in. Fox was already tucked across, and she knows that's a gap. She celebrates that one far more than the early opener. Here's the one with the problem. awareness from Little. Not a lot Daphne van Domselaar could have done about either goal, really. More about the defence in front of her. She's not really made a save of any note yet either. Fox against Baltimore. Again. Arsenal corner again. 10 minutes to half-time. They can grab something before the break. You really feel that would change the complexion coming into the second half. But at the moment, it's becoming fairly comfortable for Chelsea. That could change in an instant. Crowd on the penalty spot, ready to make their move. McCabe, great corner. And Williamson's got to do better. What a chance for 2-1. Was hers the only touch? It was to meet it on the bounce. Just before it. That is a big chance, and they have had a couple. They still haven't tested Hannah Hampton. You don't see they can pass up those opportunities and get something out of this game. Cracking corner from Katie McCabe, who stepped in there to steal it well. Russo, was she onside? Yes. Lucy Bronze trying to make out like it wasn't her touch. The corner has been given. They've had some really promising moments here, Arsenal. They've not turned it into anything. That cannot last. The corner finds its way through to Russo. There's Millie Bright. Russo again. I think the first shot was probably heading off target, and that will be the simplest of catches for Hannah Hampton. It's just not happening for Arsenal in front of goal at the moment. Chelsea getting the bodies back. The better chances, or certainly the greater volume of chances in the game, have been Arsenal's. There's no question about that. They haven't found the finish yet. Definitely heading wide, that first shot. There were so many bodies in the way. It's not that easy an opening, frankly. It's just got to be drilled through or in off one of them or something. In terms of creativity, Jonas Eideveld will be satisfied enough on that specific anyway. Problem is, her side have got a comfy cushion. And as Arsenal push on more and more, trying to get back into this game in the second half, were it to stay this way at the break, well, the counter-attack is always there, and they have the pace for it, and the quality, Chelsea, to finish them off. They were 3-0 up at Stamford Bridge at half-time last term. Kirsty Dow. Conversation with Jonas Eideveld there. Experienced official. Well, no rush for Hannah Hampton, nor for Chelsea, who will gladly walk in 2-0 up at the interval here. McCabe Good hold up from Russo. Balti to Bob and Moy. There's a bit of counter potential for the champions as Ramirez finds Canarud. She'll take on McCabe. Bob and Moy. A firm head in the right place. Just calm down a little, and that'll suit Chelsea, you'd imagine. There's nothing to suggest that he's not picked at the strongest available side here, Eidevall, but automatically thoughts will turn to tactical and personnel changes. Stina Blackstenius, Frida Marnham. Two attacking options he's got. And Beth Mead is an attacking option who's interested here. Good defending on the cover from the warrior, Kadisha Buchanan. Such a competitor. He was a little late with that challenge, Mead. I can see why Buchanan, no stranger to one of those herself, was making that point. And Arsenal have the corner. The last one was perfect, and Williamson couldn't finish it. Here comes McCabe again. Buchanan in the way. McCabe, first time, awkward for Buchanan. Millie Bright will have to stop that from going behind for another corner. Sonia Bonpastor waving up her players. 7 years since Chelsea last won their opening 3 games of a league season. That's how good they are in the spring, folks. The last 3 seasons, I'm sure many of you will know, they have pipped Arsenal, then United, then City to the title. They've done so, winning 9 in a row, 7 in a row, and 7 out of 8. They finished so strongly. Mariona Caldente, not used to being 2-0 down ever in any game of football. And she's not been able to run things in that number 10 role as easily here, that is for sure. Excellent from Caitlin Ford. Game on! Brilliant individual goal from such a tight angle, and Arsenal do have their goal just before the break. They've done a lot of things well in this game. They've just defended badly twice. They've had far more of the attacks, far more of the shots. Caitlin Ford has been a force for good down that left. That is more like it, says Jonas Eidevall. Arsenal 1, Chelsea 2, shortly before half-time. The first league goal the champions have conceded. And what a fine goal it is from Caitlin Ford here. That's about the only place she can put it, with a bit of bend in off the post, and she did. Now then. Lucy Bronze, we know, is a fine defender and a decorated defender, but Caitlin Ford has given us some problems in this game, no doubt about it. Looked like a shirt pull. Indeed it was. Mariona Caldente on Sjurka Nusken. Not from there. Absolutely not from there, the free kick. Four goals against Rangers in a Champions League qualifying game this term, Caitlin Ford. Up and running in WSL terms. Always played for Arsenal. every game last season she played in, started all but 3 of them. There you go, 2 on target now from the 9 they've had, Arsenal. Chelsea's 2 have both gone in. Always the second favourite, Caldente, and Buchanan did enough to make sure that was fairly comfortable for the keeper. 2 minutes of added time, and we're into the first of them now. No home win yet in the league. 2 draws from the 2 played. It's exactly 10 years since Arsenal went 3 home league games without winning one. It was a sequence that did involve a defeat to Chelsea, actually. The other league game was away for the Gunners, and it was a very narrow win. 1-0 only at Leicester. Frida Maanum with the goal. Well, curiously, very little in the way of saves for both keepers here, and yet we've seen 3 goals. James getting on it, but captain whistled for a foul there. And Mariona Caldente has got to start trying to dictate a little more. She will not be used to this pressure. Playing for a Barcelona team that wins almost every match they ever play. It is very different. It is much more competitive, this league. So dominant, Barcelona, by the way. They won 29 and drew the other 1 of their 30 league games last season. They scored about 1 million goals in there as well. Out by Bronze with the header. Lauren James does that a lot. A lot of aerial challenges, and she's such a strong player that can happen. It's a mid-air bump. And Kim Little never stood a chance. Now this is a free kick in a lovely position. A silly foul to give away right at the end of first half stoppage time, so there has to be time to take it. You wouldn't imagine time for anything else beyond, so surely it's a strike at goal any time on the clock, isn't it? Now Katie McCabe with the left boot is definitely an option. Beth Mead clearly always an option. Can they, could they get back on terms? That would have seemed hugely unlikely by the half-time whistle even a few minutes ago. McCabe, no, way too much on it, and that will be that. Good first half, intriguing game, loads of good individual battles. Chelsea in front thanks to a 4th minute loopy lobby hook from Mayra Ramirez, and then an unmarked close-range header from Sandy Baltimore, and then Caitlin Ford with a great individual goal to reignite the contest. It's been a good contest, and it will be after the break. Got the Gunners' number when it comes to home matches. Not when it comes to North London. Visible changes there. I suspect Soderval will be pleased enough with how his team played going forward. He should be. Of course, Chelsea has many problems, as most teams are likely to. Chelsea were a little sloppy in conceding twice at home to Real Madrid, and it could have been worse, actually. Wednesday. And that game coming 24 hours after, rather 24 hours before, sorry. Arsenal were Wednesday, Chelsea were Tuesday. I wonder if that could have a bearing going into the latter stages in terms of tiredness. You wouldn't think too much, plus, you know, a few changes from both sides anyway, so that's probably negated. Sonia Bonpastor will be away again on league duty for the next couple. It's the Uniteds of West Ham and Manchester, that's what he's got. Right, Myra Ramirez, Caitlin Ford, and so many other talented forward players. They've both got their names on the score sheet here already. Big pitch, slick surface, and Arsenal with a comeback to try and complete here and remind everybody that they are the title contender that they ought to be. Look at the power of Ramirez, still going. It's a little behind Canarud, but the threat remains. It's a dribbler on target. But you wouldn't have thought that someone can do what Myra Ramirez has just done there. Look how many red and white shirts are around her. Passed through all of them. Needed a better ball at the end of it, to be fair. Here's Lauren James, and she's going for goal. Maybe getting closer, but still not that close. 3 long ranges. One against Arsenal last term, wasn't that well read by Lucy Bronze? That was a little fortunate. Captain Ricochet. Yeah. 16 goals for, not her, but Lauren James across all competitions last season, and 8 of them were at Stamford Bridge, including that one against Arsenal. Williamson. No changes from either coach at the break. Leah Williamson with the only card. Here's Mariona Caldente, and Bronze is there to cut out the pass that was intended for Caitlin Ford. Similar shapes here, essentially a 4-2-3-1 for both. Good ball. Ford against Bronze again. McCabe. Just needed that pass better, and there was room either side of Lucy Bronze. In behind, though, would have been better news. Mariona Caldente's better than that. Ramirez is down, doesn't look overly troubled by whatever it is. Inside of the ankle. Ah, yes, that's what I did. Still learning the lingo by all accounts. Had to converse in Spanish with Hannah Hampton and Emma Hayes when she arrived from Levante last term. And just such a powerful runner. Not going to shake her off the ball. Fox and Williamson, the latest to find that out. Well, she's not sure. And maybe it's a wait and see for the coach here. And when you have Aggie Beaver-Jones on the bench and Kat Macario, two quite brilliant forwards in their own right who would start for almost any side anywhere, I doubt they'll risk it if there is a problem. Looks as if she's going to come back on. At the moment, the 10 of Chelsea coming forward, or at least Canarud is. Well defended, Katie McCabe. Let's see how the movement is for Myra Ramirez. Just there, I should think, where she landed on it. Yeah, the little hop after, the sort of stiff jarring as her right boot landed on the ground. Clever flick from Mead. She was hopeful there might be a runner in behind. Russo, though, tracked well by Buchanan. Buchanan just waited for that to get there. She and Mead down, and Arsenal interested here with a bit of space. Fox hasn't scored an Arsenal goal yet. Very nearly did with a fluky, freaky one last week here. Sliced across against Everton. It lobbed the keeper and came back off the crossbar. That one will be a free kick. The one from earlier between Mead and Buchanan. Two hugely gutsy kinds of players, those two. In from Katie McCabe, good ball! Boban Moy got the glancing head on it. Pretty well wide in the end, but I tell you what, if this is on target at that speed, then Hampton might have been struggling. Zipped off the head of, what's it, Boban Moy, and skipped off the turf too, as you'd expect on a wet surface like this. Bronze running into traffic, but keeping her head enough to keep it. And clumped in mid-air by Caitlin Ford. He's booked for it. Unnecessary force, I guess, the call there. And Ford joins Williamson on the naughty list. Yeah, more jumping into the player than jumping for the ball, wasn't it? Certainly a foul. And yeah, maybe a little on the firm side. Robin Moy. Goodness me, that's tight playing out from the back, but so far done it pretty well, Arsenal. Right and read it. Not seen much of her in that number 10 slot. Obviously, the main thing for Chelsea is they're winning the game. That is all that ultimately matters. But in terms of dictating the play in there, Lauren James and Guro Reiten in those roles haven't really done that in this game. You've also not seen tons of Kanarud as the dangerous right-wing outlet that she is. So there's quite a lot that Arsenal have done well to shut down Chelsea attacks. But not when it really, really mattered with the two finishes. Robin Moy. McCabe with a funny kind of 1-2. Mariona Caldente. It's her goal that put Arsenal one up in Munich on Wednesday night before, well, it was a capitulation, it really was. Some of the goals they conceded were terrible. We're 2-1 down here against Manchester City on the opening weekend of the campaign. We found a late equaliser. Russo's interested, good strength, but when Buchanan for once is beaten, her partner Millie Bright is not. And is Hampton going to get there? I think she did. No, she didn't. Over the line it went. Good Arsenal pressure, and they can add to it with a corner here. It's good again from Ford. Excellent use of the body from Alessia Russo. And I think we could see what she was trying to do, probably bend it around Millie Bright. Beth Mead, 2 targets in the 6-yard box and more arriving. It's Millie Bright in the way again though for Chelsea. Back in by Fox, back out by Buchanan. Looking all right as a left-back, Sandy Baltimore. Quite the vote of confidence to get the nod ahead of Ash Lawrence, who's played there a fair bit. Niamh Charles, though, obviously for so long has been the regular at left-back in starting matches. Indeed, the only ever-present starter for Chelsea in the whole of last season. Left back on the team sheet 22 times out of 22, Niamh Charles. Shoulder surgery. She dislocated it, that's why she's out. We've got Sam Kerr to come back. Pretty terrifying for everybody. Not too far away, depending on who you listen to. Sophie Ingle out for the season with the dreaded ACL. Here's Leah Williamson, one of so many Arsenal players who suffered it season before last. I think at one point Arsenal had 4 players out simultaneously with a ruptured cruciate ligament. Curse of the women's game. Good pass from Kanarud. Sjurken Nusken trying to feed it into the runner Lauren James. Right idea, and James has got it legally as well. Tight angle, Robin Moy goes to ground. Always a risk. It's been gifted back to bronze. Chelsea trying to do that punishment manoeuvre again. They've had the fewer chances. They've been better at taking them. Didn't take that one. Their lead is still as slender as they come. Arsenal would be 6th at the end of this game if they do lose it, and that's with other teams having a 4th game to play still this weekend, of course. Captain. Wonder if we might see Erin Cuthbert replace her for the final chunk of this game in that position. McCabe and Ford doing well again. Wasn't a good pass though for Beth Mead. It was behind her. Kim Little has kept it. Here's the cutback. It turns into a helpful pass for Canarud. And Ramirez, Robin Moy is going to have to keep her spacing perfect here. Loath to commit to the challenge, and yet you know, if she runs you, it's so tough to deal with. Bronze again into Lauren James. Just got goal side momentarily. Mariona Caldente gets herself back just in time. Chelsea had an incredible record of seeing through half-time leads before that amazing match at Liverpool that brought City into the title race at the end of last season. They'd won 27 straight league matches when leading at the break. So risky going to ground, isn't it, from Bubben Moy? It probably won't be too long before we have VAR at this level. Wonder if there's a moment Lauren James could have pulled the trigger. Didn't look like there was any ball. The curious thing was, I mean, she is quite laid back in so many ways, Lauren James. There wasn't anything by way of appeal. There's certainly a case for a penalty there. Erin Cuthbert is warming up, by the way. So too Stina Blackstenius. But a handy habit of big goals, including against Chelsea. Blackstenius generally, certainly not always, but generally more a sub than a starter in the WSL. Blackstenius, despite a really good goal-scoring record when she does get a go. Thing is, who would you take off? Ford's been excellent. Mead is Mead. And Russo has been good. Normally she'll put in a big shift and then make way in the latter stages. Valti with a dummy, it's a good one. Mariona Caldente, Arsenal looking for the equaliser. They're not going to find it there. Ramirez, great turn on Bubben Moy. She's all on her own though. 6 in red and white around her and no one in blue. And the inevitable foul coming on Kim Little. Arsenal getting on with it. Here's Beth Mead. Half an hour to play at the Emirates. They need another comeback. They did it here against City. Probably goes without saying they take a 2-2 now. Williamson with the cross. No, too close to Hannah Hampton, who has now conceded her first of the season. Hannah Hampton. Nice drop of the shoulder from Valti. It's not a brilliant height for Russo to do anything with. That ball in from Mariona Caldente. There's 12 league goals for Russo last term, her best tally, following 10 and 9 for Manchester United before that big move of last summer. Well, I mentioned the two forward options that Sonia Bonpastor had today on the bench. We're going to see them both hit. I don't think it's a surprise that Ramirez is coming off, even with or without what may be a little ankle problem. But what players to bring on. Beaver-Jones and Macario both on target in the 7-0 drubbing of Crystal Palace. Beaver-Jones got the first of the 7, and Macario got the last. She's used to having the best squad in the league, and she's not been downplaying it at all. She's demanding that Chelsea be competitive and go for all trophies available. With the players she has at her disposal, I think you have to say that challenging for them all is a minimum requirement, because the strength and depth is unparalleled, arguably anywhere in the women's game. If they could all play at once, the WSL would be a non-contest. Thankfully, it's 11 aside. Foul from Canarud and a ticking off, but no card. Well, we know all about the quality from Katie McCabe's left boot. We've seen it for years on end. We've seen it in this game. And that's another searching ball. Millie Bright so often finds a way to be there. Fox stays on her feet after the sliding attempt from Baltimore. Good cross coming into Vavamoy, and Buchanan was there. Mariona Caldente brings it down. A sea of blue all around her, and they've done their job. Lovely way to pass. McCabe will get there. Arsenal corner. And before the corner's going to be taken, Frida Marnham is coming on. There will be no goal against Chelsea for Beth Mead today. I'm wondering who it would be that might make way. And Frida Marnham. 4 goals this season already. 2 in the Champions League, 2 in the league. Big ones both. Needs another big one here. Half a chance that Canarud could have played in Beaver-Jones there. Instead, it's a well-timed pass. Captain zipping it towards the newly arrived Beaver-Jones, but no, cut out and cut out well. Marnham got the early opener here against Man City and also scored the 1-0 winner against Leicester. She and Mariona Caldente, you'd think at times vying for a position. Obviously she's come on for Beth Mead here, but Viv Miedemar departing, and what a hole that is to fill. What's he done tactically here, Eideval? Selfie time for Emma Hayes. Baltimore right on her outside. Beever-Jones through the middle. Offside at the moment. The header is saved. Still waiting to see a flag. That would have counted, apparently. Maybe she timed it better than I thought. It's a top stop from Van Domselaar in a game where we haven't really seen many. Corner goes short, corner that should not have been. Well, that's a good hit. It's a pretty easy save, but great technique to keep that shot down from there. Well, that is an excellent save from Van Domselaar. It would have counted. It should not have. It's a good job it didn't go in the net. I never heard the end of it. Russo. Well, that looked tighter, but the flag has gone up for her. Planted towards that bottom corner. For all the striking talent in this division, you think of Kerr, Daly and Bunny Shaw and all the firepower at Manchester United and Arsenal. Aggie Beever-Jones there has the best scoring ratio of anyone. Last season, in terms of goals per minute, 1 every 62. As I said, would surely start for just about anyone. Russo. Cutting it back, but only for Sjerken-Nusken to clear. Chelsea pressured high and unfairly, as it turned out. Guro Wrighton had a delayed start to last season, only returned in this fixture about a year ago now as a substitute. Injured an ankle in the early part of the campaign, very early after game 2, where she scored a huge goal away at Man City with 96 on the clock. Katie McCabe, no stranger to a fine goal against Manchester City, winning the throw. Those fans hopeful Arsenal can complete an unlikely turnaround here. Wrighton did well twice against Mariona Caldente, but then left a bit of the ball to grab, and there's a counter-attack on for Frida Marnham and Caitlin Ford here. Chelsea back in number now, and Arsenal calmly start again with captain Kim Little. Fox. Just looked like she'd overcooked it there, but via Sandy Baltimore, it's going to be an Arsenal corner. Around 20 minutes to play. Eighth corner for Arsenal. They've had more shots too. We know the numbers that matter most. It's not them. But it is another chance for McCabe and that left peg. Oh, free header. Bob and Moy, having got there, will be disappointed. It's not easy when you've run beyond the near post, for sure. Actually needed less on it. It's a great manoeuvre. Little spin from round the back and found herself unmarked. It's a long way off and it should be better. Needed to get less of a head on it. Vika captain coming off, and it is Erin Cuthbert who will replace her. That is not in any way a surprise. If I could guess it 10 minutes ago, I think you all could. Yet another Chelsea change that makes them no weaker. In fact, with all respect to Vika captain, who's already a Dutch international in her teens, this is one that makes the Blues stronger. We have decorated, experienced internationals still unused on that bench. International captains too. Former club captains, Ashley Lawrence, Natalie Bjorn, Eve Perisset. And that's without Kerr and without Ingle. Aggie Beever-Jones. Baltimore coming to help. Sliced. Oh, hang on a minute. Yeah. For a second, I think referee Cheryl Foster there gave a corner. And then the assistant told her no, it's a goal kick, but it's definitely Van Domselaar. I've got a problem here.
Thank you for your incredible support here today at Emirates Stadium. Today's crowd is 45,860.
Goal kick, the right call. Nearly 46,000. They do come in their numbers here at the Emirates Stadium. But unusually, they're en route to play 3 without a win. Fair enough, 2-2 against Manchester City. Vic Akers next to Emma Hayes there. The man who was in charge at Arsenal when they were the standard bearers. Top left of your picture. Next to Emma Hayes, Chelsea now have that role for sure in the English game. Under Akers, Arsenal won the league every year from 2004 to 2009 inclusive, 6 in a row. And running through that was a 108-match unbeaten run, would you believe? And the treatment for Van Domselaar is the cue for Jonas Eidevall to make further moves from the bench. Stina Blackstenius is on. Mariona Caldente making way. Welcome to a different and far more competitive league. Blackstenius, a couple of goals in the Champions League. Only started 8 of the WSL matches last term. Kim Little, by the way, has also been replaced by Kyra Cooney-Cross, who herself, the Aussie, has been starting in there in some games this season anyway, generally with Kim Little rather than instead of her. It's generally been instead of Leah Valti. All of these substitutions we've seen just really underlining how much quality are in these squads. Off the bench, Cooney-Cross, Marnham, Blackstenius, Macario, Cuthbert, Beever-Jones. Top players, all. Buchanan's missed it. Here's Blackstenius. Oh, she's overplayed it. Maybe we can let her off to some degree, or at least the neutrals amongst us, because she's only just come on and hasn't found her touch, but slightly surprised she didn't go for goal herself. Buchanan backed herself to get it on the stretch, misjudged the skipping bounce. Is there a moment just there when Blackstenius could hit it? Possibly. The pass wasn't such a bad idea, she just didn't get it right. Ten goals in the Cups for Blackstenius, including the extra time winner against Chelsea at Molineux in the League Cup final on Easter Sunday. Seen next to nothing of Kat Macario since she's come on. Emma Hayes was on the Vic Akers staff way back when. Arsenal champions in the founding year of the WSL, 2011, again in 2012, and then not again, albeit plenty of cups in between, until the 2019 title. None since. Because it's been Chelsea since, unrelentingly. Here's Beaver Jones. Just about to offload to Macario, and studs gave way. 15 minutes or thereabouts for Arsenal to find a leveller, or for Chelsea to see it out, or indeed extend the advantage. Extend the advantage at the top of the table too. Forward for Marnham, who's away from Sherkanuskan. Russo pointing in the middle where she wanted it. It came there, but it flashed past her. Pressure remains. Ford hit Stina Blackstenius. We'll never know whether that was arcing towards the far corner or not. Williamson. Fox. Russo now on the right. And still there, and keeping it in. Got to be a first-time cross, and it is, and via Baltimore. It's a throw, I think it's been indicated there. Blackstenius waving the left leg at it, and I think got a little bit of ankle. Just a faint outside edge. Marnham for Ford. Promise for Arsenal. Shut down by Buchanan. Chelsea trying to weather the storm and not doing so that well at the moment. Cuthbert loses out. This is Marnham, and that's Hannah Hampton's all day long. May not be in a phase of a game where they're trying to keep the ball, Chelsea, but they aren't. One of football's oldest cliches is about winning games when you aren't necessarily playing at your best, and you take out the outlier against a Premier League debutant in Crystal Palace, where Chelsea's second half saw them score 6 times. They weren't that great in the first half of that game. They were a little bit fortunate to beat Aston Villa 1-0 on opening night. Thankful to 2 quite brilliant late saves from Hannah Hampton there. And as I mentioned earlier, far from convincing against Real Madrid, who had big chunks of that game at Stamford Bridge. So, you know, you're nitpicking a little bit. But they are, at the moment, en route to 4 wins out of 4 across the 2 competitions. And they've only really been the Chelsea that you would recognise from recent times in the second half of one of those matches at Selhurst Park against a newly promoted WSL debutant. So, frighteningly, I guess, for everyone else, there is still room for improvement. Quite a lot of room. Sonia Bonpastor has certainly not been gushing in her praise either post-match, and I don't think she will be here. But first and foremost, her team is winning. All of them at the moment. Fox against Baltimore. Valti. Rolling Cannerud, advantage played. Marnham. 7 minutes and stoppage time. Williamson. Lucy Bronze was there. Chelsea not quite camped in, but more backing themselves to defend the lead they have. Letting Arsenal have the ball up to a point before engaging. You presume if the scoreline stays the same, this will be the pattern between now and the end of stoppage time. And Baltimore there with a cheap shot. And it's another free kick in a decent position. Katie McCabe will be interested. Wasn't a ball she could win. Just trod on the inside of Russo's ankle. Often doesn't last the full 90, Russo, because of just how much he puts in right, left and centre. Katie McCabe seems to want 4 runners making their move from somewhere. All about the delivery. And it's dangerous! Oh, off the bar! And Hampton will grab the follow-up. Stina Blackstenius so close to making it 2-2. The striker with a habit of important goals late in games, in big games, couldn't have come any closer.
Number 19,
Hannah Hampton didn't have a chance. If that's on target, it's in. Such fine margins in such big 6-pointers. Will that be their best, or indeed last chance? 5 minutes and stoppage time. Russo, Blackstenius in the middle, Marnham there as well, and Ford. The ball's not anywhere near any of them. Shouts for handball against Millie Bright. And Cooney cross, cut back by Ford. Kept in play as well. Chelsea living a little dangerously here. Time is on their side, but it ain't up yet. Millie Bright. Cheryl Foster, the key protagonist here. Good decision. Hit the Chelsea captain in the face, not on the arm. Well spotted, referee. You could see why onlookers may have thought, especially those Arsenal fans, that it was a handball. Hampton sharply off her line. It's one of the features of her game. Used to be an outfielder when she was a younger player, Hannah Hampton. Look at that, for the last 15 minutes, it's the 70-minute mark, and it won't have been any much less than that actually beforehand. 72% Arsenal possession. Now that's partly because they are dominating, and it's partly because Chelsea to some extent are letting that happen. We really haven't seen a whiff of a Chelsea counter-attack in that period. I'd be hard-pressed to say they don't deserve a draw here, Arsenal. Chelsea just have a knack, even when they're not at their fluid best, of seeing games through. Another free kick given away, another Baltimore foul, and this time on accumulation. It's a caution for the new recruit. It's her goal technically, that is the match-winning one right now. Keep giving Arsenal the chance to put some quality delivery into that Chelsea box. Well, it can't be later, but sooner than later you'd think it'll cost. There's the caution. Ashley Lawrence is going to come on for Cannerud here. Defensive change, and Natalie Bjorn is coming too. That tells you everything you need to know. Seriously defensive changes. Wrighton, the other one to make way. Extra defensive heads for the defensive challenge ahead. Still an Arsenal head on it. Hampton came, didn't get there. I think that was her own player in the way. It wasn't a foul, but the ball bounces her way, which takes the percentage of winning a little closer to Chelsea than it already was as we go into the final minute. It was, as well as Nusken, it was Blackstenius in the way of Hampton, but it wasn't a foul. That could have dribbled anywhere. Gratefully grabbed by Hannah Hampton on the floor. It's a 94th minute save from her at Kingsmeadow on this division's opening night that gave Chelsea that win against Villa. She made a brilliant stop, pushing it onto the crossbar from Daphne Van Domselaar's replacement, Sabrina D'Angelo, the Villa keeper, who was up for a set piece deep into stoppage time there. Ford, who's just been announced locally as the player of the match, couldn't keep it in. Confirmation there of the Baltimore yellow card. We're going to have one here for Natalie Bjorn, whose first involvement is to be put on the list. And another free kick and another card as we go into the first of 6 added minutes. This is becoming clinging on for Chelsea now. It was Erin Cuthbert with the clumsy barge into the back of Alessia Russo. Normally, Chelsea are dominant enough in their possession, or indeed far enough in front, that these latter stages of games aren't an issue for them. But they clung on successfully at Kingsmeadow against Villa. And this has been a real rearguard effort with some good fortune in there. In by McCabe, Millie Bright again. Here's the volley through the crowd and parried by Hannah Hampton. Good hit from Russo. That is so hard to do and keep the ball down. She's backpedaling. That's such a clean strike on the volley. Well, they wanted a response. They've had it in terms of the performance, the Arsenal fans, but it looks like they're going to get nothing for it. It's becoming a theme for Chelsea this early season. Not quite at it, slightly unconvincing, but victorious. Look out, everybody, once they do hit their straps, which they surely will at some point. Arsenal have 3.5 minutes to find what I'd have to say would be an entirely merited equaliser. Go no further, Russo. Fourth minute when Ramirez put Chelsea one up. Only about 15 later did that lead become a commanding one. And they have absolutely been digging in since to hold on to the advantage. There's Millie Bright. We are absolutely into the territory of the anywhere will do kind of clearance. Macario's barely touched the ball since coming on, just carrying it to safety and sensibly finding Baltimore is now playing in that left wing position with Lawrence as the left back. Here is Ash Lawrence. Nusken. Good looking ball, and it has found Beaver Jones via Katie McCabe. Beaver Jones to wrap it up. No. That's not a good finish from a very good finisher. Right up the middle and straight at Van Domselaar. That really would have been harsh on Arsenal. Macario going for goal, and that's not nearly so well struck. Blackstenius. Corner as we go into the final minute of stoppage time. It's deep. Bronze with the header on it. Can Arsenal just find one more cross with bodies in the box? Will they even get the ball or the chance to do so? Baltimore to Lawrence, whose legs are fresher than anyone's. Mind you, Cooney Cross has only just come on too. Good challenge from the Aussie. Job done, and a different kind of job. 3 big points for the champions. A rare rearguard action for sure, and a first away win in the league at Arsenal in 5 attempts. 9 points out of 9 for Sonia Bonpastor in this latest Chelsea title defence. It is 4 points out of 12 for Arsenal, who were really good and genuinely threatening for big chunks of this game. Everyone out there knows what this means. It means Chelsea remain a force to be reckoned with. They can't always be dominant. And yet again this season, they weren't really in this game. But most importantly of all, they have won again. His team are fighting a serious uphill battle already, and it's only the beginning of October. They played well,